Hey, single plane golfers, I want to welcome you to the October Plane Talk. I want to thank you guys for being part of our academy. Thank you for being part of our single plane methodology, and thank you for being part of this webinar with us tonight. We do this every month, and I always bring this up at the beginning of every webinar. Some of you guys have been with us, and I say this all the time, but some of you guys have been with us for 7 hours, 7 days, 7 years. In fact, we had a school, we just had a school this last week. We had some students that have been with us for 14, 15 years. I think one have been with us for 17 years. So, it's amazing. I'll be talking to you guys at home, and I have people that literally have signed up today for our information. The people have been with us for almost 20 years. So we're talking to all of you out there, but all of you guys at home, I want to thank you guys for being part of this, and thank you for being, supporting Graves Golf and taking part in what we do. Tonight, what we're going to do in Plane Talk is we're going to talk about rating your scoring game. And I'll tell you why this came about. It's because for the 2, 3, 4 years, in fact, I think it's probably 4 years ago now, I put out an article that was rate your wedge game. Okay. And I put it out every single year. And I always ask my students, my customers, and people in our alumni to continually do this article. You do this again and again. Rate your wedge game. Can you improve your wedge game? Because obviously that's part of your scoring game also. And, guys, remember that 70% of the scoring occurs within 100 yards of the green. So 100 yards inside is 70% of the scoring, okay? So I did this for the past, I may have been more than 4 years. I've done this. I presented at short game schools. I presented at different places, and it's been very, very popular. In fact, it's when I put the article out, it's always one of the most popular articles I put out there. When I give it at the schools, the guys and gals love it, and so on. Well, it was brought to my attention with it was a real good attention, actually, at the last school I had, is the guy said, you're doing the rate your wedge game, which is about 10, 15, maybe 20% of your scoring game. Close to half of it obviously occurs with the putter, and you don't have the rate your scoring game. And I sat there and kind of thought back about that. That's a good point. I really need to do a rate your scoring game, which is really rate your putting game, okay? And that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go through that just like we did in the last webinar. I'm going to go through rate your scoring game, which really surrounds about your putter. But it's a lot more into it and more involved in that than just about do you putt well or not, okay? Or what putter do you have in your hand? It's a lot more than that, okay? And we'll go through that tonight. So that's really the topic of tonight. Hopefully you saw the article in this week's newsletter. I put it out on Monday. It was released again yesterday. So hopefully you got that. If you didn't get that, you don't get the newsletter, you can always email me. I'll make sure you get a copy of that. But you'll go through a point by point tonight, and you can actually keep a score of that. So as I present this tonight, as I go through each one of the points, there's going to be a scoring system. You can keep your score. We'll talk about the totals at the end. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll get to that here shortly. All right, well, let's get rolling on this, okay? And let's talk about rating your basically scoring game. And guys, here's what it comes down to. It's very simple. When you look at the scoring game, almost 50% for the average golfer occurs in the putting green, okay? It's close to it. For the guy who shoots 97, which the average golfer shoots 97, for female shoots 107, that's the average female score, it's right at 43%. If you're a little bit higher than that, obviously the numbers go up. So a majority of your game is scored with the putter in your hand. But do you know how to rate that part of your game? Do you know how to rate the different areas and how to improve those areas? Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? That is the key, okay? Because it's amazing how many guys or gals will come to me and they'll say, what do you normally shoot? And they'll say, I shoot a 95, but I'm a good putter. I'm like, wow. I mean, that's just not going to happen. It just can't happen, okay? Or I'm not, I'll even have guys, but it's amazing how many guys will come to me and say, I can break 80 or I shoot in the 70s, but I don't think I'm a good putter at all. Well, what are they comparing it to? So anyway, so we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to show you how you can break down your putting game and rate it to see if it's the most effective game for you. And then where your weaknesses are, you can work on those and build those up, okay? So there's 10 areas we're going to go over these. We're going to rate these from a scale of 0 to 3. So right now, if you haven't done this already, I'd have a piece of paper next to you and just start marking down, like when I put the first category, say it's a 1, it's a 2. And so we'll total those up at the end, okay? And we'll rock through these, all right? So here's the first one. Let's go through the first one. Is your putter fit to you for length, lie angle, grip size, and weighting? Okay? So, very simple. We're going to start out with the fit of that club. Is it fit for you? Okay? And when you fit a putter, it's got to be the length of the putter. It's got to be the lie angle of the putter. It's got to be the grip size of the putter. Okay? And then obviously, if you can adjust some weighting on it, that's a great bonus for it. So, if your putter's never been fit to you, perfect. It's going to be fit according to your height, your wrist to floor measurement, okay, how bad your back is, things like that. If it's never been fit for you, you put down a 0. No, or I don't know. It's a 0 points. Number 1, partially fit. Like maybe you changed the grip on it. Okay? Or maybe you had the lie angle adjusted sometime on it. Maybe it's partially fit. That's a point. Okay? That's 1. 2, All but one area fits. So like, for example, you have a putter, it's a great putter for you. It's fit for you in the grip size, in the lie angle, and so on, but you can't adjust the weighting on it. The weighting stuck, so you got one weight on it, okay? So if you get heavier greens or light greens, you're kind of stuck with what you got. Okay, you get 2 points. 3 points is that putter's been fit to you perfect, and it has some nuances involved. It has a weighting system. You maybe even have an adjustability system. And guys, obviously, I'm going to show you, and we've got the lock and roll putter in the hand. And that's what I've got in my hand right now. This lock and roll putter is a perfect example of this. It's got 2 different weights in the bottom, but the more importantly, the coolest thing in the world, this lock and roll putter that we have, is it's got adjustability in the back. I can actually adjust these back screws, and I can adjust the lie angle in this putter to fit me perfect. And why is that important? It's interesting because Todd and I just shot another video on it yesterday. It's probably about the 10th video I've shot in this thing. And it's interesting. Todd looked at me and goes, why would you adjust the lie angle if you set it to you at one time and this is the way it was going to be and it's set to you forever? I said, it's real easy, Todd. I said, here's what you're going to do, Todd. You're going to come over to my house tonight and you're going to help me build. You built a deck in your house last year. You're going to help me build my deck in my house this year. So you're going to come over tonight and we're going to build a deck for a few hours. And we're going to lift all this wood in the backyard. We're going to do all this hammering. We're going to do all this cutting. And then tomorrow we're going to play some golf. And you're going to go out tomorrow and your back is going to be what? It's going to be freaking sore. And you're going to be going, I can't even get over that. I can't even bend over my waist right now. I said, tell me what happens to the line with the putter when you can't bend over tomorrow as much as you could the day before. And he goes, that makes total sense. And I go, exactly. I said, people will go to bed, wake up the next day and their back sore more than, and so guys, things change in the body. Okay. This adjustability allows you to do that adjustable on the club to make sure the line angle fits for you for every given day. That's huge on a putter. Okay. That's huge. That's why we did that. Okay. So you rate it 0 to 3. Okay. So you should have a score, you have a score down. You have a score running now. Hopefully you guys have got a 3 down. Most of you probably have a 0, 1, or 2. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right. Do you practice and play with one type or brand of golf ball? This is critical, okay? Because putting is a game of feel. You want to develop a series of great fundamentals and then have feel associated with those fundamentals. If you're not using the one type of ball, like the ERC Soft I talked about earlier, which is probably a golf ball that fits 90% of our students, okay, and customers. If you're not playing that golf ball, if you're not putting with that and practicing with that and then playing with it, you will not develop good feel. It is your fault if you go on the green and you're putting with range balls or balls they give you, or you got a Pinnacle and a NXT and an ERC and a Chrome Soft, and you're putting with 4 different balls, and you go to the first green and you 3-putt because you didn't have feel. That's your fault. You didn't set yourself up for good potential of good play. Okay. But it's more important than that because I'm going to pull that slide back up real quick. Okay. I play 0 points. I play and practice with different golf balls. No one in particular. Basically the golf balls you find. 0 points. 1. I play with one type of golf ball, but practice with a different one. Okay. So maybe you play with the expensive ball, but you're scared to practice with that for whatever reason. That's 1 point. 2. Most of the time I practice putt with the same ball I play with. Okay. That's usually number 2 is the lazy guy. That's the guy who does it most of the time, but sometimes maybe not. Okay. Number 3, I always practice putt with the same ball I play with. Always. Okay. And you guys know from the last webinar I did, you should be chipping with that same ball also. Okay. This is how you get touch and feel on the greens. Okay. So 0 through 3 right there. Do you practice with the ball that you actually play with, especially when you're putting? Okay. So the next one, that's category 2. Let's go to 3. All right. Does your putter and golf ball have an alignment system aid and you use when you putt? Now, I'll give you an example of this. This is the lock and roll putter. I'm sure we have some pictures of this. These are the 3 lines at the top of the raw lock and roll putter. Okay. This is a triple track golf ball. They will line up perfectly. So when you sit on the green, when you set this down on your given line, you match up the putter to it. You are not putting that line every single time. This is massive. Okay. This is huge. Now, yes, I know some of you guys may not use triple track on the golf ball. Hopefully you're using an alignment aid with maybe a T on the back like we used to teach before the triple track came out. Okay. But the better the alignment system on the putter, the better the alignment system on the golf ball, the bigger advantage or the more advantage you have. Every good player uses an alignment system on the putter and on the golf ball, on the green. And so a lot of them use it even on the tee, okay? But every good player does. Next time you watch an event on TV, you'll see they'll have the stripe sitting down or the single stripe or the tee or the 3 stripes sitting down, and they'll line that putter up right to it, okay? Now, let's put the points up there. We got it? All right. No, I don't have or don't use alignment aids on either golf ball or the putter. So that's a 0. 1. Yes, one has one does not. So maybe you have it on the putter, but you don't use it on the golf ball, or vice versa. 2 points. Yes, both have alignment aids, but I don't use them all the time. In other words, you may play with it, but you don't practice it. Okay? 3. Yes, I use both when I practice and play. Here's 4. Here's an extra point and a bonus for you. The alignment aid in my putter matches the alignment and the golf ball, like this right here, like the lock and roll putter does with the triple track. Because when it matches, it basically molds together. It works together, okay? If you put a T in the golf ball, maybe you have a single stripe on the putter, it doesn't match, okay? If you have like one stripe and a thinner stripe in the ball, it doesn't match. Triple track versus 3 stripes match, maybe a triple track putter versus 3 stripes in the ball, that matches, okay? That is huge. Okay, so the next one. That's category number 3. Let's go to 4. All right. Do you understand how your putting fundamentals, the 3 H's of putting, hands leading, hands down the line, hip check, are directly related to your chipping, pitching, and your full swing fundamentals? Okay? Hey guys, I'm going to tell you straight out, and I'm not going to go over this in detail tonight, but at Graves Golf, the beauty of what we teach, the beauty of our methodology is everything is directly related all the way from the putter all the way up to the driver. And hopefully you guys have heard this 1,000 times, okay? So, and we talk about this a lot. I can watch somebody on a green and watch him putt, and I've never seen that person before in my life, and I can tell you mistakes they're making with their driver, making with their irons, their hybrids. If you're casting your putter, you're going to be casting your irons. You can cast your driver. If you're flipping it, you're going to be doing the same thing. If your hands aren't leading, it's going to be the same thing, okay? We see those same fundamental problems in every club throughout the bag. So you can match them up, meaning you start working with that putter and you start getting the fundamentals correct. They will help you get your chipping fundamentals better, which will help you get your pitching fundamentals better, which will help you get your full swing fundamentals together, okay? If you don't understand this, or right now you're sitting there thinking, what is he talking about? Or if you need to review it again, go to 2 Birds with 1 Stone instructional material. You guys should be looking at that every couple months. 2 birds with 1 stone. Go to our on-demand, get that, watch it. That is everything. It teaches all about this. It walks you right through it, okay? Critical, critical, critical. All right, let's talk about the points in this. So 0, I have no idea how they're related. That's 0 points. 1, I've heard they're related, but have not studied or know how they're related. 2, I know they're related and have watched the 2 birds with 1 stone instructional material once. Number 3 points. I know they're related. I watch 2 Birds with 1 Stone routinely, and I use Graves Golf On Demand to study additional information on the different fundamentals and the relationships. So basically, you get 3 points if you've seen 2 Birds with 1 Stone. You understand how it works. You go to it every so often. Then you can go to our On Demand app. You can type in that information, search for it, get more information on it, okay? Because guys, this is our system. This is how it's related. Because the last thing you want to do is do a single plane swing and then do another methodology in putting. Because every time you putt, you're messing up your full swing. Every time you work on the full swing, you're messing up your putting, okay? That's the problem. All right. Let's go to the next one. All right. Is your ball position at setup under your eye line or and forward of center? Okay, 0. I don't know or have never checked. Okay, guys? So when you set up over a putt, that ball must be underneath your eye line and it must be forward of center. 2 core fundamentals of putting. We've got to keep that putter as square as long as possible, and we've got to keep that ball hitting an upstroke, okay? And you guys know that's how this putter was exactly built, the lock and roll putter, okay? It was built exactly that way because you can adjust the line angle perfect. There is a box that sits in the bottom of the putter. It was very specifically made for that. Now, we set that box in the green. We set it up perfect and putting that box down perfect, setting it with the putter flat on the ground. My eyes are now guaranteed over it, and the ball is guaranteed forward of center when I use the alignment position training on the back of the putter, okay? Or the alignment aids in the back of the putter. That's all in our training for this putter, okay? Guys, you see I'm talking about the lock and roll putter a lot. All these fundamentals will work for other putters. The lock and roll is set up to match our fundamentals perfectly and get you to stop thinking about fundamentals and just get into good putting, okay? Because think about it. If I can put a putter in your hand and the fundamentals are built into that putter, okay, and we're going to get deeper into the cement. That's why I'm bringing it up. They're built into this putter. Now, all of a sudden, you set it up properly. You just get up over the putter, and the putter does the work for you. Now, what do you got to worry about? You got to worry about line up the putt, about getting the right read on the green. You've already done that. We get up over the putter. Now we're worried about speed. That's all we got. The problem is most people, when they get over a traditional or conventional putter, they're fiddling with the face. They're trying to get the right shaft. We're going to talk about this. They're doing so much stuff that they never even get to good speed. This putter is built for you 100% to set up over it and give you the perfect fundamentals. You guys follow me here? Built in the putter, okay, that allows you then to just worry about speed. That's all it is, okay? And guys, I'm going to bring this up now because I know we're halfway through this program, so I'm going to talk about it right now, and then we'll get into the points in this. We've sold, and I'm going to look at Thomas on this, over 800 of these putters. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. We have 127 of these left as of the start of this program tonight. Okay, 127. We are going to run this special right now to get rid of these 127 or to sell these out. This second batch of putters, which is that 127, is arriving at our facility Monday/Tuesday of next week. By the end of next week, they will be going out. Am I right? Okay, we're close to it. Okay, yeah. So guys, the first 1,000 that have been purchased will be out and going to you guys within the next week. So anybody who's in that first 500 batch, you guys, they're already on their way or they're going to be coming right now. They're already being shipped as we speak. Okay? The next 500 batch, they're coming in early next week. We've got just over 100 left of those. Okay? Those will go exceptionally fast. I promise you. That's why I'm bringing this up right now. Because this is the special we're giving you guys tonight. For non-members, it's $50 off. For members, it's $100 off the $499 price. It's right there. Okay. You can still get the putter shipped to you next week if you get in right now. If you don't get in right now, the next batch is coming in a month and a half to 2 months. The reason is we get it from overseas, and it's Chinese New Year, like all clubs come in, and things close down for about a month. We don't have any control over it, okay? So we got the first 500 that came in, they're gone. The second 500, we're still working through that, okay? So the putter I give away tonight will be the 900 or the 999th or 1,000th putter. Is that what it is, Thomas? Yeah, okay. That's what it's going to be. So all the guys that freaked out and said, you're giving away a putter before I got mine. No. If you bought a putter, you're going to get the one before the one to get away. But there's still ones available that will be shipped out next week. If you don't get in with one of these, there's a high likelihood if you order one, you will not get it this year. Is that fair to say? Yes. Okay, I'm looking at Thomas. That's fair to say. It's almost 100%. Thomas says it's almost 100%. Okay? It's just the way it is. Okay, guys? Okay, so we bought the first 500 thinking that would take a while to sell through those. They sold through literally in hours. Got the second 500 purchase. We thought, okay, we guys, we're not a $1 billion company. We got the next 500 in there and we said, okay, we can afford that. We start getting them in. We've sold through 3/4 of them now. So we're going into that last bit of those. So if you want to get that, you can go call 866-377-2316. Somebody's on that phone right now taking care of that. 866-377-2316, or you can use that link on the website and you can get in, okay? So, you notice there's a $50 for non-members, $100 for members special that you can get on this putter. I'm bringing that up now because you're going to start seeing the points that I bring up and right in your scoring game. You're going to see how big a deal it is to have this putter in your hand, why we created this putter. You're going to see exactly why we created this now, okay? So let's go back to that one more time. Let's go back to those points in that. We got it? You got where I'm at? Okay.
While you're doing that, members have an email with their...
Okay. Oh, yeah. Thomas, wait. Guys, members were sent an email a couple minutes ago. Am I right? Yep. It should be in your inbox right now. It has the code or it has the link to get you the $100 off. So elite members, VIP members, and just Single Plane Academy Anywhere members or Anytime members, they're in there. Am I right? Yep. They have it. Okay. So you can go to your inbox and get it. Or if all else fails, give us a call. We'll get you in there. Guys, don't wait. Because right now, we're already getting testimonials on this. You saw the Jim Nance one. I think we had a slide in Jim Nance. Jim Nance already got a couple in his hand. Him and his son have got one that he thinks is the wave of the future. I was in the newsletter because I put in the newsletter. I mean, it's amazing stuff, okay? But anyway, let's go to the next slide here. All right, so we got, is the ball position set up under your eye line and forward to center? 0, I don't know if it's ever been checked. 1, I think so, but I have no way to check it with my current system. 2, yes, but the ball position can change under pressure or over time without consistent practice. 3, yes, it is guaranteed under my eye line and forward of center as my putter is set up to get me in that perfect position every time. All law, the lock and roll. Because when you set this down and you set it with the box, you are now guaranteed set up underneath your eye line and forward of center by looking at the way the putter is set up with the gears on the back of it and the way the shaft is in the putter. Okay? That's guaranteed every time. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Do you have shaft lean in the putter at setup and impact and through the stroke? Okay? And I'm going to walk off screen for 2 seconds here. Okay. And I'm back. Conventional putter, guys. Traditional putter. Okay. Taught with this for 25 years, almost 25 years. It's a great putter. Triple track putter, great putter, okay? I've used it. I've won hundreds of tournaments with it, okay? In fact, more than that with putters just like this. Guys, it's phenomenal, okay? But there's an inherent problem with this putter. And anybody who's been to a school, who listens to my instructions, who pays attention to anything I do, knows what that inherent problem is. When you sit up over a putter, you've got to push your hands forward. The hands must go forward, and then you must maintain that position through the stroke. That's what we call it, hands leading, hands down the line, hip check. Okay? So when we step on this putter, our hands must go forward, and we must now keep that forward. The reason is because there is a loft on the putter. Every putter out there has loft. Some as low as 4 degrees, some up to 12 degrees. In fact, some ping putters have 11, 12, 13 degrees loft on them. Okay? So if you hit it with those hands, even with the body, in the middle of the body, you'll hit the putter with too much loft. And you will typically and most often flip the putter and close the face down. Listen to what I just said. So if you don't create shaft lean on the putter, okay, you will have inconsistent putting because you will not have proper face angle at impact. It will not stay square at impact, okay, and it will not maintain that squareness through impact, which is very simple for the single plane system. Okay, there's a problem with that. And here's the problem. I have preached this for over 25 years. And you guys know there's some of you guys at home, many of you guys at home that have heard me say this till it's that you're sick of hearing it. And then I see you again and your putter's back here. Then I see you again and your putter's back there. And I see you again and your putter's back here. In fact, I do short game schools. I say you're going to get sick of hearing me say shaft lean and angles at the school. Because I'm going to say shaft lean 1,000 times and I'm going to say angles 1,000 times in the school. Because this is something that is broken down. And if you want a number, I would say right now that a given golfer, the average typical golfer, close to 90% of them will not have the proper shaft lean or have no shaft lean at all. Is a major problem. And then not having that shaft lean causes you to flip your regular clubs, cash your clubs, no divot, all kinds of problems. Okay. Welcome to why we created this. Because it has shaft lean built in. Okay? And yes, there's other putters out there like this. There's a few of them out there like this, but that's also the reason those other putters are built the same way. It makes the hands lead the ball in impact. You have to. Guys, every club in your bag, your hands get past the ball at impact. That's a requirement. That is the way the club is built. That is every club in your bag, including traditional conventional putters. The problem is when you don't get that shaft lean, okay, you lose the way the putter is built. Well, guess what? In a lock and roll putter, you lock it in the arm, you set up, you're required, and it will, and you can't mess it up, have shaft lean every time. So the hands down the line, the hands leading, the hip check, okay, is a given with a lock and roll. Do you guys understand this? The only way you can mess up a lock and roll putter is to start wiggling the body. Did you hear what I said? That's it. Because when you lock at that arm, it's got built-in shaft lean. Now we take the stroke. That's why this putter was built. That is the primary reasons. Yes, we put 1,000 other things into it, literally. From the weighting of the head, to interchangeable weights, to adjustability, to the grip, to everything with this. But the main reason, the number one reason it was built was to give you shaft lean. So let's go to that slide. Do you have shaft lean in the putter at setup, at impact, and at the through stroke? Do you have shaft lean? 0. I don't know, or I've never checked it. 1. I think so, but there's no way to check it and or will break down an impact or through stroke. And guys, when you get nervous or you stop thinking about it and you take this, it breaks down. I see it with everybody. Number 2, yes, but it will break down under pressure, when I'm under pressure. Number 3 points. Yes, it is guaranteed as my putter is built to guarantee me shaft flex, shaft lean at setup, impact, and through stroke. You guys follow me on this? Shaft lean. So honestly, unless you have filmed it and filmed it and filmed it and you can guarantee the shaft lean in your through stroke and or use a shaft lean or a lock and roll putter, you're not going to score a 3 in that, okay? That's why this putter was built. Okay, let's go to the next one. Do you accelerate through the putting stroke? 0, don't know or never checked. 1, I think so, but have no way to check and or will break down at different times. 2, yes, but I will tend to miss too many difficult short putts. Example, downhill with some break. If you're missing downhill sliders with your putter, and it's pretty common, you're deaccelerating the putter. Number 3, yes, it is guaranteed as when I practice, I use tools that show me acceleration every time, like the Excalibur putting trainer. Guys, this is the number 1 tool to use if you want to guarantee acceleration to the putting stroke. Why do we want acceleration? Acceleration puts overspin in the ball, keeps the ball on line. This is what this will train you to do. But here's what's interesting. And this is part of the discussion I had with Todd yesterday on the range and on the putting green yesterday. It was really interesting. Todd got up over and we were talking about this topic right here. We're talking about acceleration. And Todd said, Tim, he goes, tell me the 2 reasons golfers miss short putts under pressure. He goes, and we're doing this on a little live camera. We're doing this live and I'm shooting this video. He goes, tell me the 2 reasons. He hadn't pre-warned me this question. And I go, okay, it's just real simple. I said, number 1 is they don't maintain shaft lean. They flip the putter, so they get nervous. They flip the putter through impact, which closes the face down. They're going to miss the putt, okay, and deaccelerate. And I said the second reason is because they deaccelerate the putter. They take the putter too far back in the backstroke and they deaccelerate going through. And then he came up with this question to me, and it was a follow-up question. It was very interesting because this is the biomechanics thought that's Todd. He goes, do you think that you will have increased or better acceleration if you guarantee the hands leading the ball every time and the hands are closer to the hole on setup than they did with the traditional putter? And I had to think about that for a second. And I go, wow. I go, that's interesting. And he goes, my thought by biomechanics is they have to move their hands a shorter distance when it's already ahead of the ball, so there'll be less chance for them to break down and deaccelerate the putter. And then so now immediately I'm thinking in my head, let's think about the guys I've worked with, or the guys I've seen, or the guys I've played with, and so on. And I immediately went to Phil Mickelson in my head, because obviously he's a great putter. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Phil Mickelson, but he does this every single time he sits over a putt, and he's nervous, especially the shorter putts. He will sit up over his putt, and he will forward press that putter 3 times as much as he normally does. In fact, if he forward presses at 5 to 6 degrees, he'll forward press at 10 to 15 degrees and putt it. And I thought about that and I went, that's exactly what's going on here. Biomechanically, because I've always thought about feel and keeping that face square and getting the hands leading. But biomechanically, if the hole's in front of me here and I put my hands close to that hole, I got a shorter distance to go to accelerate through. It's exactly what that was. I thought and that's what the shaft lean putter does for you. That's why the first thing you see, and you guys will see this at home, this is the testimonials we're already getting. We got guys that are on this Excalibur. And I've got testimonials. It's one of the first ones I got. In fact, I've got a bunch of them now. And they said, the best I ever did with my old putter was 3 or 4 in a row. They said I immediately made 5, 6, 7 in a row. It was like immediate. You know why? Because when you set up with a traditional putter, guys, these are still good putters. There's nothing wrong with these putters. They're just not as easy. When you sit up and my hands are leading, look where I'm at. And I've got to now make sure that face stays square every time. So I push the hands forward, got to make sure it stays square, and I go. Now, I get over the shaft lean putter, okay, the lock and roll putter with the shaft lean. Look where my hands are. They're further ahead right now. You can see that. And they're set there now. It's easier to go down the line. I don't have to adjust or manipulate the head. I set it down. It's perfectly square. I go. That's the point of this putter, okay? So here's the answers to it. And again, do you accelerate through the stroke? I don't know. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Yes, unless I get in nervous situations, or yes, it's guaranteed every single time. Okay? Next one. Do you practice putting at least 25% of your practice time? No, I do not. I seldom practice my putting. That's 0 points. 1, at different times of the year, I will practice putting 25% of my practice time. 2 points. Different times of year, and when important rounds and turns are coming up, I will definitely practice at least 25% of the time. 3 points. I practice year round, and I practice putting at least 25% of my time or more. Guys, Excalibur inside. It can be snow on the ground. You can only practice putting, okay? You can set up things inside to practice. We've talked about that many, many times. We'll talk about that more this winter, okay? Next one. All right. Do you use both practice A, play type, and practice B, fundamental type putting sessions? Do you use both of them? Okay? 0 points if you don't know the difference. What is a practice B session and practice A session? Guys, I'm not going over this now, but if you don't know the difference, get an on-demand app and start studying it. It is critical you know the difference and have different types of sessions. Number 1, When I practice, I typically just work on speed of the greens, neither an A or B session. So I just go out there and putt around at different holes in the greens. This is what a majority of golfers do. 2 points. I typically will work on fundamentals when I practice B session, and I'll use training aids when I practice Excalibur string mirror. In other words, you're usually working on fundamentals in your practice and fundamentals only. You get 2 points. 3 points. I have both practice A sessions, meaning you gamify your games a little bit. You may do clock, you may do pullbacks, you may do four corners, okay? And or I practice B sessions. I do fundamental type practice. So you do both. Maybe you do fundamentals when in between those important rounds, and those important rounds start coming up, you start doing practice A sessions, okay? So in other words, you get 3 points when you do both type of sessions. You have them spaced out, you know when to do them, okay? And you do them routinely, okay? That gives you 3 points. Let's go to the next one. All right. Are you able to adjust your putting according to the environment? Okay. Conditions. For example, slow greens, bumpy greens, windy, etc. Okay. Are you able to adjust your putter and putting according to, so it's not just your putter, it's also you. So 0. I putt the same and putter is set up the same no matter what conditions. So in other words, if it's windy, if it's cold, if it's wet, you putt, it's the same. It's always the same. Now, 1 point, I make adjustments to my stroke. In other words, you might get a wider stance if it's windier, okay? You may shorten up that stroke a little bit, accelerate a little bit harder if you're going into the wind or downwind, okay? So you make some adjustments, maybe a wider stance and so on if there's some conditions going out there. 2, I make adjustments in my putter. I add or subtract weight and or I shorten the length of it for different conditions, okay? So in other words, now, it starts getting windy out. Maybe you start dropping down in the putter a little bit. Maybe you start choking down. Because guys, you start using an arm lock, a wrist lock, or even a short putter. It's really, really windy out. This thing turns into a third leg. It can. Guys, even these putters right here, short putters in very, very windy days, you get over the short putts, maybe there's 3 footers, there's 4 footers, it's blowing 30 miles an hour out. You're going to tend to want to choke down, okay, to get closer to that head, okay, to get a little bit more into that wind. Okay? 3, I make adjustments in both my putter and the stroke set up for different conditions when needed. Okay? So in other words, you have a weight adjustment. Guys, the greens get really, really, really slow. We add some more weight to the putter. Okay? We add weight to the putter, and maybe we sit there and it gets windy out. We start getting a little wider stance. Guys, we make up for it by changing the putter when needed and also changing what we do when needed. Okay? That gives you a 3 if you do that routinely. All right, next one. Okay. Do you have a system, a method to read break and greens, and do you use that method or system when you play in practice? Okay. No, I do not have any system or method to read break and greens. I just use what I see. Okay. 1, I have a system or method I use when I play, like aim point, like maybe some other system you guys have developed. Okay. But I seldom practice reading greens with that system or method. So in other words, you use that when you play, but you don't practice it. 2, I have a system or method I use when I play and practice, but sometimes I forget to use that system or method. Okay? So in other words, you do play and practice this, but sometimes you go out and you play, you forget to use it. 3, I have a system or method I use when I play and practice, and I will put in time every time I practice. This is a practice type A, enhancing and staying comfortable in my system or method. Now, guys, I'm talking about system or method. I'm talking about pre-shot routine, in-shot routine, post-shot routine. If you would have been to my AI school last week or the mental game school, you'd have heard us talk about the red zone, green zone, gray zone. That's all about your routine and your method. So all my students out there knows what I'm talking about here. The red zone, the green zone, the gray zone. Guys, there's all things involved. That's part of your method. That's part of your routine. That's part of your system. If you don't have a good pre-shot routine, if you don't have a good in-shot routine, you don't have a good post-shot routine, okay? You're breaking your system, or you don't have a system. You've got to create that. Look, if you want more information on that, look at our master classes, our mental school, our AAI mental school master class. Look at my short game master class. Look at that, okay? Study those. Critical. You want to be a good putter, you've got to have a system or a method. You've got to. All right. Do you have a pre-shot routine, in-shot, and post-shot routine you practice and use during play? It's that important. That's why you get bonus for this. So there's a red zone, green zone, and gray zone. And do you keep stats in your putting? Okay? So this is the bonus question. No, I don't have any pre-shot, in-shot, or post-shot routine. I've never kept putting stats. 1 point. I sometimes use pre-shot routine, but I'm not sure about in-shot or post-shot routine. In fact, you don't know what those are. 2 points. I use a pre-shot routine and sometimes an in-shot or post-shot routine, and will keep putting stats when I play. Number 3 points, I use a pre-shot, post-shot, or in-shot, post-shot, and typically keep stats. 4, bonus, I use it all. I use a pre-shot, post-shot, in-shot routine. I use them all. I practice them in practice day sessions, and I keep stats when I play. Every time I play around the golf, I keep putting stats. That's 4 points. That's a guy who's serious about getting better at scoring, is a guy who's got 4 bonus points right there. He's got a great pre-shot routine. He's got a great in-shot routine. He's got a great post-shot routine, and he keeps stats when he putts. So when he gets done that round, he goes, man, I had 29 putts today. That was great. Or tomorrow, I had 34 putts. What's going on? Guys, he keeps those stats, okay? It's huge, huge, huge. Okay. And guys, you guys know the guys in the elite program, the guys in the VIP program, you know how hard we push those stats with you guys. Critical to get those so we can do analysis with you guys when we're coaching and training you guys. Critical, critical, critical. All right. So we got some totals on there. We got the slides with the totals. All right. So let's go over these real quick and then I'll see you and then we'll talk kind of again tonight. Guys, again, I don't know how many we've sold, but I know we got things going in line. We got going on. We got things. I would say right now, I'm sure probably underneath 100. Typically, we sell 20 or 25 during the event. Guys, this lock and roll putter was designed by Todd and myself, okay, to be the biomechanically ideal putter for the single plane system, but not just for that, for putting in general. And I've told you guys this before, and I don't need to go over it again, but I mean, I'm bragging when I do. Jim Nance and his son, you guys know Jim Nance. He's the guy who does the Masters. You guys know Jim Nance. Everybody knows Jim Nance. Jim Nance has already got one for him and his son in hand, and they love the thing. They love him, okay? And he literally said, you guys saw the newsletter, I don't know if we have a slide in this, but he literally said he believes it's the wave of the future, okay? He believes it's absolutely the wave of the future, okay? So that's what Jim Nance, I mean, we've seen that. We've already got guys who've got this putter in hand a couple of days, and we're getting testimonials upon testimonials about it. This is the biomechanically correct way to hit a putt to guarantee our fundamentals every single time. You guys follow me here? In fact, here's a testimonial from Tony came up. I just received my putter today, went to the course, aligned it, putted for about an hour, and plan on using it tomorrow in a tournament. Wish it luck. It's awesome. Tony R. Wish me luck. All right. Santa Claus came to me house today. Just spent 1.5 hours at the putting green. This thing kicks ass. My leg, long putts for money. This is a finely crafted piece of workmanship. Very solid for me. The lock into the arm is the key. Hope you all get that there soon. Hang in there, Kurt. Guys, I mean, we're starting to get in. It's only been out for a couple days, okay? It's only been out for a couple days. Guys, here's the deal. On the website right now, because I've been getting 1,000 questions. If you order the putter, there's a scan code that comes in the box. I'm going to throw this out to you guys right now because I'm getting tons and tons of emails saying there's no training on this. There's a scan code on there. Scan it, it'll take you right to my website. Or you can just go to the website on gravesgolf.com, okay? And where it says clubs on the top on the thing, go underneath it. Okay. And it has the training for this putter. There's 8 videos on training. There's also about a 45-minute video of Todd and me use it, explaining why we created it. So we've got a couple hours on how to use this already on the website. Anybody can access it. It's not for members only. It's on the general website. Okay. It also will be put on demand eventually. Is it on demand yet? Yeah. It is. Okay. It's on demand already. So it'll be there too. So guys that just go to on demand, you can go there, but training is already there. Am I right? So what tab do they go to on the website? They go, where's it underneath? So he's gonna make sure, because I'm gonna get you guys, you can use the scan code, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly where to go, okay? Yeah. So, what's that?
It takes the website, the QR code does.
The QR code does, yeah. The QR code does, takes you to the website. So, but guys, this is why we've created this, okay? And the beauty of this putter, and the last thing I'm going to bring up about this putter is the grip itself, okay? And that's the biggest thing that is why people love this putter so much. Because it is a big grip that's got a bow in the grip, that's got a flat side that locks into the arm. It makes it very comfortable. If you want to go lead hand low or trail hand low, it doesn't matter. It locks into the arm. You also, when you get the putter, all those that already got it know you get an arm lock version or a wrist lock version. I use the wrist lock. Todd uses the arm lock. It's explained in the videos, okay? So it's explained in both. We will put the shorter version in first because most people have a shorter putter they've used, and so they'll be more comfortable using a wrist lock to start. Now, you want to put the arm lock in. It's really easy to put it in there, take the screw up, put it in, lock it up, and go. It's very, very simple, okay? Most people will start with a wrist lock because it's closer to their normal putter. It won't be this weird thing they're starting with. Then if you want to try the arm lock and think that works for you, better try it. Guys, one is not better than the other. It's what's comfortable for you. Okay? It's what's comfortable for you. It's built for you on your fittings. It was built for you to fit you perfect. Okay? You may have to do a slight tweak in the lie angle. We set it for you. But if you bend at the waist a little bit more, you stand a little bit more than the average guy, you may need to tweak it a little bit. That's fine. That's great. That's why we made the adjustability there. It's very simple. It's on those videos. Very, very simple. The key is that box in the bottom. So when you set that box down, so I'm on a green right now. And this is why it's crazy how this works. I read my putt. I set down the triple track for me. I now set it down. I now, watch how I do this. And I got this in the training videos. This putter's set to be perfect. I now put that box in the green and it now sets perfect in there. Notice, I'm holding it with one finger. The putter is balancing itself. It is square to my target. It is square. I do not need to make an adjustment. It is set. Now, I grip it, give me a check, and I go. That's all it is. So what you didn't see here, because this is what average typical golfers do. They will take a putter, which is a great putter. They will set up over it. They'll line it up. And now they'll go, okay, I got to get my hands forward. I got to make sure it's underneath my eye line. I've got to get everything set perfect. Well, the majority of the time they start pushing their hands forward, the putter face closes or opens. That's the problem. So the putter doesn't stay square. And so they start tweaking it. And this is why they'll pull or push putts. This putter sets it for you. It sets down, boom. It sets up, and goes. And guys, I've talked about Leanne Fairley a lot of times. She's the one that just played in the U.S. Senior Amateur. She's a great player. I put this in her hand a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I had one in the green. I took her on a practice round to get ready for a big event which she was playing in. And she said, I want to try it. And she set it down. I showed her how to use it. She said, well, this lady has played for 50-some years, is an All-American player. She's a phenomenal player. She's in the Hall of Fame. She's an amazing player. She took the putter. The first time she put it in her hand, she set it down. I showed her how to use it. She putted. She looked at me and she literally said, that's like freaking cheating. She goes, that's like cheating with a putter. And I can guarantee you, put most of you guys together, including myself, I guarantee you she's hit more putts than most of us put together. That's how much she's played in practice in her lifetime. And she literally, the first putt, she looked at me, she goes, that's like cheating. Okay? And I said, why, Leanne? Why do you say that? And she goes, because here's the biggest thing I do, Tim. She goes, I set the putter down. She goes, I like the ball. She goes, you know I do. She goes, I set my putter down. She goes, a putter just like this. Okay? She goes, I set my putter down. But she goes, I'm never convinced if it's the right angle or not. She goes, is that the right lean? Is that the right lean? Is that enough? Is that enough? She goes, I'm never convinced. And she goes, I start pushing it forward. She goes, I see the face start moving in it. She goes, I start seeing it moving right and left and left and right. She goes, then I don't trust it. She goes, so what I do is, she goes, I talk myself out of it. She goes, I sit up over it, I push my hands forward, and I talk myself out of it. Guess what? It's what all good players do. It's what all players do, but it's what all good players do. They sit there and they go, okay, is that where I need to be? Especially in pressure. But guess what? You set this putter down, it sits itself for it. Now we lock into it, and we go. That's all it is. That's all it is. Guys, I'm not going to talk about myself in this because I've put this into play and I've already won a lot with this thing. And I've already got a lot of PGA professionals that want it. And I'm putting them in line behind you guys, okay? So, but this is going to be, like Jim Nantz said, this is probably going to be the wave of the future because it takes so many of the fundamentals that golfers break down over their putting. It takes it out of play. It takes care of it for you. That's what this putter's all about, okay? That's what this is all about. So that's why, guys. Now, you saw on those systems tonight, you saw that. It didn't say you had to use a lock and roll. It didn't say that at all. It showed you how you could use a putter that we've been promoting for 20-some years in here. You could use that and do very well with it, okay? It showed you that. The problem is for me, and this is the big thing for me. Guys, when you're out there playing for fun, you're on the green, putting green, just going around, there's no pressure, we're good, we're just out there. I mean, you can use a ball on the end of a stick and do pretty well. A lot of us can do that, okay? It's not a big deal. It's when the pressure starts hitting or the circumstance starts hitting or we sit there or like Todd says, Todd goes, I don't like to practice putting. And if you don't like to practice putting, he goes, if you ask Todd why he created this, he goes, I created this because I like practicing putting. That's what he said. Because then you don't have to sit there and worry on all the fundamentals. When you go practice, the fundamentals are built in so you can work on what? Touch and feel. And that's what Todd was saying. And so when you watch his videos at Todd, that's what he's talking about. He says he doesn't like practicing putting, and he doesn't practice putting. That's one of the main reasons this was built, okay? So we good?
Yeah, we do have 3 questions.
Okay.
And then we can do that.
Okay. Well, we got a couple questions. I knew this was going to run a little bit long tonight because there's a lot of points to cover. So can you go to the points again, that point system? Because we never went over that.
Totals?
Yep, the totals real quick. I want to do that because I kind of jumped around. Okay. And then we'll get into the questions. Okay. So we got the totals right here. So if you scored 0 to 9 points, you have very little to no potential of being a good putting or scoring game. I mean, guys, I assume none of you guys scored 0 to 9. If you score 10 to 15 points, some potential, but wouldn't count on having a consistent scoring or putting game. You may putt well one day, poor the next, okay? Guys, if you score 0 to 15 points, you're the guy that comes to me and says, I want to be more consistent in your whole game. You probably don't realize it's your putting that's holding you back. 16 to 20 points. I got medium potential, will putt good sometimes, not good others, and have some potential to putt better. You need to focus on your weak areas, okay? 21 to 25 points, above average potential. You're a good putter, but to be a great putter, you need to focus on your few weak areas, especially those you have to do with fundamentals. So that's what I talked about. You're getting kind of scored high in points, but you got a couple breakdown in the fundamentals, like you don't have shaft lean or whatever it is. You need to highlight those. That's what's holding you back. 26 points, very high potential unless one area above is low. You will be you will putt good a majority of the time. So if you score 26 points or above, but let's say you scored 0 or 1 in one of those categories, you're probably still going to be of just above average potential or medium potential. Okay? You can't be that weak in one area. So, guys, just like I did when I said about rate your wedge game, do this routinely. I like you say you score 21 points. Build those up, work on it for a while, come take this test, take this again in 2 or 3 months. See if you score higher. This is your scoring part of your game. The higher you score on this, the lower your handicap will be. Listen to what I just told you. The higher you score on this, the lower your handicap will be. Your potential to be a low handicap golfer, your potential to get better will increase dramatically. There's just no evidence or buts about it. That's what this is involved. It's the scoring part of the game. Okay, that's why I said rate your scoring game. All right. So we got the questions?
Yeah, quickly though,
Okay.
we're asking about this code again.
Okay.
For the 50 off.
Okay. Guys, there's the code right there. It's LNR50. You can put that code in if you do it online. It's good for I guess, to midnight through the 6th. Okay. Yeah, here's the deal. It's going to be good for a couple days still. We're going to get it out there, but I'm just telling you right now, I know that they're going to sell out probably in 24 hours. So if you get this in on Friday and we tell you, sorry, your putter is going to be available in 2 months, you'll know why. I'm just throwing that out ahead of time, okay? You get in tonight, you get in early tomorrow morning, I would bet you're going to get within 125 putters that are left, or probably around 100 now, okay? You can always call 866-377-2316, or you can always email me at timg@graysgolf.com. I'll get you pointed in the right direction. We'll get it taken care of for you. Guys, any of those club specials, putter specials, any questions you have, anything I'm going over tonight, you can always email me. You know that. At timg@graysgolf.com. We'll get you taken care of. I'll shoot you the right direction or take care of it myself, okay? First question. Can you see the grip position on the lock and roll? Can you see the grip? Can you see the grip position, lock and roll? Got mine saying it feels a bit strange with a different grip. But yeah. So you want to see the way I hold it? Okay. I'm going to give you 2 different ways. So you can zoom in on this. There you go. So what I do is I put the trail hand on first. Okay. And it's totally obvious. All 5 fingers are on, thumbs down the shaft. Fingers are wrapped around it. Now I put the lead over the trail. And I actually do a double, almost a triple overlap. So it's right on the top. So basically it's sitting on top. It's locked into my lead arm. Now, the reason I do this was basically one on top of the other. This hand is on extremely light. It's just set on top of the putter. It's going along for the ride. The trail hand controls the putter. And you guys all know from all the instructional material I've given you over the past years, all good putters will tell you the trail hand controls the putter. That's why we drew drills with one hand. This is a great putter to do a drill with one hand, because look what it did for me. And Todd was doing this yesterday. Look what it does. You do a one-handed drill, it makes you keep shaft lean. It's like impossible to flip this thing. Whereas everybody else who does the one-hand drill and test it. Guys, if you got a new putter right now, the lock and roll, test your putter. Take your normal one out and try to keep the shaft lean. You'll do this. It's amazing. You guys will do the one-hand drills. I'm not criticizing you, it's just what we see. And you guys do this. And that's what you do with your club. Now look where it's at. And you've lost shaft lean. The face is closed down. You've increased the loft. The ball will bounce. You have a poor speed control and poor line. Now, we put the shaft lean on it. We put the one hand on there and do the one-handed drill. It's like it goes forward for you. It's impossible to flip this deal, okay? It's great. So now that was right. That's trail hand. That's lead hand low. I'll flip it. Now I'll go the other way. So now I would still, and Todd goes this way. Todd goes the right hand low. Still put that on first. Now I would put the other over the top.
Okay? So put the right hand on. Now put the over top. Because if you have all 5 fingers of your trail hand on there, it will tend to take over the putter and control the putter. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. A majority of great players that putt great and putt well, professionals, have all 5 fingers of the trail hand on the putter. The other hand goes over some way, including Tiger, including everybody else out there, okay? So if you go the other way, set it up, put the other hand over, and go. All right? Is that good? Okay. Next, is this stance slightly open for the lock and roll? I push a lot of putts right in the hole. Here's the deal. The lock and roll stance can be open, it can be square. What matters, and that's what any putter we teach, it can never be closed. Your stance can be square to slightly open in putting. The key is your shoulders, okay? So when I sit up over a putt, okay, if I want to have my feet slightly open, even like a chip, that's fine. But my shoulders must be square. So my shoulders must be square to the given target because your arms are going to rock down your shoulder line. Your shoulders will allow the arms to go towards the target. If your shoulders get open for whatever reason, you will cut your putt. You will pull your putt. This is why I promote so heavily lead hand low, because that's what squares the shoulders. Those that go trail hand low tend to have open shoulders and will pull putts. So if you putt with trail hand low with a lock and roll or regular putter and you're pulling putts, there's a 99.999% chance that your shoulders are open at setup and through impact. Well, then chances are you're also flipping the putter, okay? Go lead hand low. A lot of you guys will call it cross hand, okay? Get the shoulders square to your target. Now putt down the line. And anybody who's been to school, been to short game school, been to 3-day school, been to 5-day camp, you know, we'll pull somebody out that's trail hand low. We've never seen them before. They'll set up over a putt. We'll show them the shoulders. They'll be open every single time. Okay? That's why average putters miss it below the hole. They miss it below the break. They tend to pull putts because their shoulders are open. They flip their putter. All right. Okay. Pros and cons of wrist lock versus arm lock. Lock versus wrist lock. So arm lock, okay. Or is it primary preference? 100%, 1,000,000,000%, no doubt about it, primary preference. So the putters if you bought this, so in these two right here, it's a little bit long for me, but I'll take that as an example. This will work, okay? I've got 2 putters here, okay? There you go. So these both fit me right here. In fact, these fit me perfect, okay? So this one right here is this one right here is a wrist lock. So I bend over like a short putter. Guys, I'll bend over exactly like I would with a normal putter in my hand. There's no difference. See how I'm bent over with a normal traditional putter? I get in that exact same position here. I bend over that same position. I just lock in the wrist. Okay? Now I go. So this feels like a normal, regular putter for me, locking in the wrist. Love it. That's very comfortable to me. Some people don't like to bend over that much. Okay? Some people that hurts their back. Some people won't putt because it hurts their back. Maybe you want to stand up a little bit more, okay? So now you can arm lock it. When you arm lock it, it'll let you stand up a little bit more. It stands taller, okay? It'll allow you to stand taller over it. And some people feel like it's braced in more to their arm when they arm lock it, okay? They feel a little bit more security and a little bit more lock with an arm lock. 100% personal preference. But, I'll end it with this tonight. We have anything else? Okay, giveaways. I'm going to end it with this. And I cannot stress this enough and make note of this. Okay? When you use an arm lock version of the putter, I need you guys to, when you set it up for the arm lock version, so you've set it up, okay? You set that putter down in that box, okay? Just like you did when I showed the wrist lock. Now, you set up over it, and you relax the lead arm into that position. Notice what I just did there. I can go right hand low or left hand low, and I'm relaxing and bringing the arm into this position. You see how I did that? You watch the training videos we did, watch the ones that are out and the ones that are also coming out. You will see us set this down and very dramatically put that arm into it. So I'm not straightening that arm out. Guys, this isn't locking the arm. Okay, it's not locking the elbow and the shoulder. It is set and brace into the arm. Does that make sense to everyone? So this is very relaxed. That's how I keep that putter flat on the ground and maintain a good stroke. If you straighten the arm out and get too tight in that arm, you'll create too much loft on the arm lock putter. Okay? It's not meant for that. Now, the wrist lock. When we set up over this, you notice when I set up over that, I can now get pretty straight in the arms, okay? It's not locked out, but I can get pretty straight in the arms because it's a shorter putter and be in very good position there. Okay? So if your tendency is to get a little straighter lead arm, you're going to like the wrist lock better. If your tendency is to have a real flex lead arm, you may like the arm lock better. Okay? Again, it's personal preference. Try them both. If you putt with the wrist lock and you putt great with it, stay with it. A lot of people in windy conditions find this harder than this. Okay? They just do. Okay? Those that have tremors will find this better than this. They like the arm lock better than the wrist lock. They have tremors. Guys, personal preference. Okay? We see that all the time. We good? Good for tonight? Okay, so just a reminder one more time. ERC golf ball special. They didn't tell me that they're not going to have any. I just don't trust it right now. Just, you know me. Okay. So if you want to make sure to get some throughout the winter, and these are the 2023 ball, before you guys ask me, they're not last year's ball. They're this year's golf ball. I can get you 3 dozen for $130. So basically buy one, buy 3, get 1 free. I'll get you that. If you want to buy 8 dozen, 12 dozen, get as many as you want. Okay. I'll get you buy 3, get 1 free throughout the whole thing. Okay. Second thing, the Rogue. Guys, if you're interested just a driver, just a fairway wood, you want a couple irons, you want a whole set because you want a second set or a really good deal on a set, you never had custom fit clubs, and you want that greatest deal you're going to possibly get, email me at timg@greatestgolf.com. We'll open up a dialogue. We'll get through that, okay? You will not see lower pricing for custom built clubs, period. Listen to me carefully. You will not. Yes, they are last year's models. They were top rated last year. You will not get lower pricing than those. You will not. You know, I have a lot of guys that call me up and say, hey, my high school son wants to start golf and I want to give him a custom set of clubs, but I just don't want to spend that much money on it. That's the set to get them. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You have friends that come over to your house, you know, and like to play golf with you. You like to have a set of clubs for them and you want to get them built up for you so you can take it on the road with you. That's the way to go. Okay. All right. Email me. We'll be taken care of. Remember the tournament. You got to call in a couple days to get signed up for that. Guys, we call it a tournament. It's really not a tournament. It's an event. It's a get-together, single-playing golfers having fun together. Todd's going to be doing demos. I'm going to be doing demos. We'll be shaking hands, having fun. Guys, we've done this in the past, had a blast. Get into it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, okay? We don't have a lot of these, so get into it, okay? It's a lot of fun. And then, obviously, about the putter. I don't know how many we have left, but you can do it online. You can do it by the code. You can call it in. Okay, I would get in fast. I'm guaranteeing you're going to get it shipped out with next week. And all those that had to wait 2 months for theirs, sorry, we finally got them in. We're still starting to finally go out. So, but after these go out, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. Okay, we good?
Yep.
Okay, we're good. Good. There's the code again, and let's do the giveaways. Giveaways for tonight, 2-day short game school, which I will be there. And you say it's your school of choice. John Mitchell from Austin, Texas. I wonder if he's a University of Texas fan. I hope he is, because he'd be my hero this weekend. Okay, next. That hurt you, didn't it, Thomas? Okay. That hurt a few of my staff. Okay. Yeah, he's looking at that going, I cannot believe I gave an Austin winner tonight. You gave an Austin winner tonight. I love it. Okay. Okay. We're going to the next one. Lock and roll putter giveaway winner is Gary Simons from Sitka, Alaska. Well, maybe Gary's no U fan. So, and yes, Gary, you will get you will get your part sent you by the end of next week. You'll be one of the last batch going out. You got it? Yeah. Okay. So congratulations to the winners, guys. Again, if you want that article in print, we'll send you out in a replay. We'll get a link to that article. If not, you can always email me. I'll send a copy to you guys, okay? Go through that a lot. Go through it again and again. If you got the weak areas, let's bring those up. You're only going to be as good as your weakest areas, okay, guys? So anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you guys in a couple weeks.